Hi guys, welcome back to the Sanctuary Garden. So a lot of my tomatoes began to have like this leaf curling thing happen. And my first guess is going to be that it's because they were smushed into the light and starting to grow over like the shelf because they're just way too tall. It's either that or they're just ready to get out of that pot and they need more space, like ASAP. So this is their first day out in the sun. I'm just going to let them rest and hopefully adapt even though they're kind of sickly and not their best, and we'll see what happens. I'll try to plan them out. I don't know. Got hollyhocks here looking pretty great. They also are kind of have some leaf discoloration. They just need to get out as well. There's two here. Ground cherries, not super healthy, but not the worst. I think one could be a hollyhock. I'm not sure. I don't think so, actually. So some of these things really need to get out. This pumpkin, it needs to get out, and I think it might be able to survive with the temperatures we have right now, but we'll see. These green German tomatoes I'm growing for my mom, they finally came in and they're pretty healthy. I could let them stay inside a little longer. Start these ones as early. I think a lot of these things I started way too early, but they grew way faster and stronger and healthier than I thought they would so quickly. Oh, it is full of little flowers. Oh my god. This is a black beauty zucchini. She's like ready to go. But again, I have to get them used to the sun outside. So I'm gonna put them out here maybe an hour, and we're gonna be full sun, and I'll probably bring them in or put them in the shade somewhere else for the rest of the day. I'm gonna try to do a little bit more tomorrow, but they really need to start adapting quick. And at this point, they're starting to get unhealthy. So I'm thinking, even if I were to plant them out, maybe like Wednesday or something, they might be so happy that they're in new soil and that they might just appreciate it and get better fast instead of worrying about the sun, you know. We'll see. Cool. All right, let me show you the update on this. Last week I planted 9 raspberry bare roots. In March, I want to say I placed an order with Stark Bros online for 3 different types of raspberry bushes. I thought bare root would be a great way to start. This one was a heritage red blend. Make sure when you are taking them out, you remove all the paper, any ways that they wrapped them, especially those little twist ties. Get those off. This one was a double gold raspberry. Super excited to try that one. And the last one was an Ann yellow raspberry. So I have 3 different kinds. The heritage red is like the most simple, basic one. And then the other ones were a little bit different. I wanted to spice it up. First, you're going to rinse those bad boys off. Make sure they're clean, maybe dump out that first water, and then go ahead and keep filling. You're going to want to soak these guys for a minimum of 6 hours. They suggested no more than 24 hours. I think I did about 8 hours. To prepare my bed, I started with scratching up the surface of the soil we already had, and then I went ahead and poured some of the leftover compost that we had from the beds on top. And put out 9 stones and wood pieces to label where I want to put the raspberries, evenly spaced here. The thing with raspberries is they like canes, so they will go underground and come back up and shoot out new sprouts somewhere else. Every year they'll get bigger and bigger. So I think by spacing them like this evenly as best as I can gives me better odds of getting new sprouts on this whole bed over years to come. And then comes the longest process of this, is digging the holes. As you can see here, I used a dull shovel, and I realized after the 2 holes I needed a pointed one. So start there, make it easier on yourself. I also found if you dug a whole trench the whole way down, buried them all at once, it goes a lot faster instead of going one by one. I learned that after the first 2. You're going to bury them, stand on them nice and firm, and then put more soil gently on top of there. And then you're going to want to repeat those steps for any remaining berries you have. Make sure you give them a really nice deep watering when you are complete. Their roots are in dormancy until they have that water soaking. So you're going to want to keep them wet for a good week or so after that. Not too soggy, but good enough. And then you're going to want to cover that with straw or some type of mulch just to hold that moisture in there. Us personally, we decided to put this fence up just to keep any unwanted pests out, and especially for the dogs not to trample through it until they get a little more established. It's looking great. It's about 1:20 right now, so maybe by 1 o'clock, these just started getting some good sun. And they'll pretty much get it until 7, because the sun doesn't really go down until 8:30. There we go. Yeah, she's looking good. Healthiest one. Come on, sisters. Get behind her. As I get around here, I planted an elephant ear bulb, I think 1 or 3, and squirrels keep digging in here and digging them up and eating, or trying to eat them. So I put some ground cayenne pepper on. Got this the other day. I'm not really sure if it's working yet, but what it's supposed to do is be a deterrent for squirrels and maybe even bunnies and birds, I think. No, birds don't feel it. Okay, so this is what I did yesterday. Just maybe that's a little too much, I don't know, but just sprinkle it on. It rained yesterday, so it washed away, so now I redid it, I reapplied it. And what it's supposed to do is be an irritant, again. Irritate them, make them not want to eat it, all that stuff. It's not supposed to harm them. But hopefully that will prevent squirrels from continuing to dig in my soil pots, because it's not just happening to this one. Like if we come around to the front of the house here, I'm in the process of trying to plantify this area, and my first goal was a big pot here, a big planter. I put 3 big elephant ears in here, bulb, and I put caladium colored ones, bulbs around the sides. So my thought was like, a big tall tree, little short bushy pretty colors, and these coming out. That was the thought, right? Squirrels keep coming here. You can almost see their holes, digging up each one, like eating half of it and then leaving it for me to see the mess. Like, I love squirrels, but like here they were more wild than they were at my mom's. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it again because it rained. Again, I don't want to hurt them. I just want him to jump in here and go, ow, my paws, and like go away. I want him to put it in his mouth or his eyes. I just want him to not think this is a fun area anymore. And also, I keep finding peanut shells. Like some eaten, some not. Some with peanuts still in it, in all of my planters. Hiding treats for the future, and I can't have that. So we'll just see. On the conversation of chili powder, of cayenne pepper, and deterrents of animals, I also invested in one of these. It's had turns with the wind. I don't know if this is gonna work. I know it works for some people. I know it doesn't work for others. I know they get smart. Pretty sure you gotta move them around, but I don't really want to take my chances with my starts being out here. We have like wild squirrels. We have, was a possum living under here, is actually a bunny who has babies, so I'm not kicking them out. He doesn't kick them out either. Who am I to hurt poor bunnies? I'm not doing it. And if they eat my stuff, just call me Snow White or Cinderella. Like, I would let them. I'd be really depressed and kind of mad, but I don't know I don't think I'd do anything about it. So we're doing owls, we're doing cayenne pepper, and we're also doing snakes. Yeah, you could call me crazy. I don't know. I saw someone else say that they put up a net like this around their garden, each garden bed, which I would have done if I thought I started to have problems after I planted out my plants. And she said that still didn't work. So then I was like, okay, I need to get serious before I even plant my stuff out. So I ordered these snakes, ordered the owls, and I'm just gonna like start strong. I'm not gonna put them out yet. I probably shouldn't be playing with out here if I got some smart squirrels watching me. Crazy to say? I don't think so. I think they are intelligent. They like to mess with my dogs. Like, we ain't messing around. I should hide them. What I'm gonna do is, once I plant each bed, I think I'm gonna put 1 snake in each bed and strategically like hide them under or something so it'll scare them. I don't know. Maybe once a week or every couple of days I'll move them just for fun, but I'm really hoping it works because I don't want to put a bunch of fences around each bed. I'd do it. I'd maybe do metal. I could even do screens, like a mesh. Like, I would do it, but it just would be a pain in the booty. And I want to see the beauty of the garden. And I know once the garden starts to get big and strong and healthy, there's only so much the squirrels can do. And I would share my fruit, but like, I don't want to let a bunny or a squirrel or anything like snap off a whole plant before it even gets big. Like, I'm not down with that. I'm going to use some sand from this weird sand pit, which will maybe be a bonfire one day. Who knows? Develop these owls. In order for these owls to do their job, we got to give them names. If you got any ideas, put them in the comments. Thinking an Owlie for one, in honor of my nanny daughter. She names her owls Owlie. You let me know. There's like a root or something growing in there. Ooh, first one ready. On to the next one. Oh, put a little walnut in there for good luck. Oh, you could see the walnut. Wow, you could see the walnut in there. A squirrel must have had half of it. It's a heart. We have a walnut tree back there. I heard they're pretty destructive. This one obviously came out of its green cover. I would like to research how to do that, because maybe we could eat the walnuts. I know it's a lot of work, but it would be cool if I had the time. Maybe we can name this owl Walnut. I don't know. Hold on. There we go. Good luck. Defending the homestead. Welcome home, Owlie. Then I think our other friend, I'm gonna put hey friend, maybe he should look towards the garden. Fun project I've been working on. So this is my first year officially composting. I'm not a master. It's not a master class. I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing. Preferably, you want to empty out your kitchen compost into your compost bin. You could do it daily. You could do whatever you want. Probably once a week is the best. This has probably been going and brewing for like a month or more. But the positive note is it's molding. It's breaking down. It doesn't smell. This canister doesn't smell. It's got a carbon filter in here. And I also have it in a composable bag, which I'm not going to keep it in. I'm not down for plastic, even if it dissolves. And I don't want that in my compost. But it has a charcoal base pad in there, and it prevents it from smelling outside of this. I'm kind of scared. I'm afraid to look at it. It's just like a monster I'm feeding, but I just don't want to look at. I just drop all this precious, delicious food into it and just hope for the best. It's not alive, don't worry. I could turn it into the sun soon. Got a baby crying. Oh, yeah, you can't really tell. I dumped coffee grounds on it this morning, so I guess you don't have to see the mold. I've got strawberries I brought home from work, like the tips. I've got banana peel, tons of coffee grounds. Let's wake up the beast. Carrots from a soup I made, broccoli pieces. I've got browns in terms of coffee grounds is the only type of browns I put in it. I haven't put any I'm gonna put the soil and the cardboard and the good pieces in there. Used coffee grounds is probably browns, more fibrous stuff. But it's okay to mix it, it's all kitchen scrap. It kind of feels like anytime I'm cutting in anything in the kitchen that would otherwise go to waste, I just get to put it in here, and I feel like I'm feeding something in the future, because it's going to go into my soil, and then one day it's going to go into the beds, and it's going to go back into the food, and it's just going to have a really beautiful life cycle here that we're creating chains of things that help feed each other and take care of each other, and processes that one day start taking on their own. Am I really good at putting it in the compost yet? No. But with practice, I'll get there, and one day the soil will too, and that's exciting. And I just, even taking scraps home from work or borrowing scraps from other people, if you're someone that doesn't always have a lot of scraps in the kitchen, you don't cook that often, you could borrow for the browns. You could get leaves, cardboard, as long as it's not like there's no tape or print and stuff on it, and you kind of want it plain. You could do paper plates that aren't really dirty after use, as long as they don't have a plastic coating on it, just plain paper plates. Oh, there's a squirrel. We're making eye contact. Oh, he's running back and forth. He's giving the dogs a show. At least he saw me. We made direct eye contact. Hope he doesn't see the snakes and the owl. I'm about to put the owl in that tree, actually, so we'll see about that. He might knock it off. He might be a pest. So I currently have, come down here, two beds. And what my thought is, I'm gonna work primarily on one, build it up, turn it when I have to, which is probably maybe once a month. Depends on how much I'm putting in it. My idea is, I'm gonna try to zoom in a little closer here. Better, I can kind of see you better. My idea is to then use the second one to maybe hold some browns, like if I collect leaves from somewhere in the fall and I have a lot of extra, because you kind of want to collect browns as you go if you're not someone who goes through a lot of paper products or comes across that stuff. So I might leave one side for browns to put like twigs and like papers and extra things, so that way every time I add the kitchen food scraps, I can grab an equal amount of browns to put in with it. So today I don't really have any browns built up. I used all my extra leaves from the fall in my beds. That's cool. I'm gonna do like a lazy compost approach. I'm not gonna do it perfect. I'm not gonna try to worry about the science and the details. I'm just gonna feed it what I have. And the thing with the lazy approach, so I've learned, is that it just takes a little longer. And you can't always be sure exactly of what the nutrients are in your soil to like, if they're all equal. But like it doesn't, if you're cool with that, it's cool with that. So I'm like talking about the soil like it's a new creature I'm gonna feed, which it is. It totally is. I'm feeding it. So what I'm gonna do today is just pour out, oh my gosh. It doesn't smell though. It doesn't smell. This is healthy and organic, and I can't believe there's that much liquid in there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour that into the compost, and then I'm gonna put, I think, because I don't have the other browns right now, I'm gonna put leftover mushroom compost that I have left on top of it, cover it up. I'm always going to want to cover it with browns, and right now it's going to be sitting on top of greens. Like you see this beauty of what this is back here. It is lush pastures. Already going to have a layer of greens. I'm going to add my organic greens from the kitchen, and then I'm going to put that mushroom compost right on top. Creatures and critters can't smell it. They won't want it. It's just going to, and honestly, do they want this? Do they want this? No. Another thing about that, not put meat, so you don't want to do breads, meats, or dairies in your compost bin. That might bring animals, that might bring raccoons, that might bring mice and all these other things, because that stuff is tasty to them. It's not something they have all the time. They're going to smell that right away. Like no cheeses, no nothing. You just want to do like raw leftover pieces of vegetables that they may or may not like, but it's already going to be composting on your kitchen counter for a week. It's already going to start to go bad. I mean, I know raccoons like bad stuff, but they won't, that's not really what's gonna bring them in, as long as you're balancing it right with your browns. Okay, so like I said, lazy compost, and we're just going with the flow back here. I thought I was recording me dumping it. I missed it. This is the mother of the compost we're working with. She fresh. She's stinky. Those are like peels from apple or something. I don't, potato peels. Yeah, look at her. She's happy. Anywho, now that I got her here, down and dirty and gross, let's break this up a little. Oh yeah, that's crazy. Looks like soil, but it's the coffee grounds. It's the coffee grounds. Anywho, okay, she is stinky. Let's get in there, cover her up, make that stink go away, you know? There we go. And chop it under there. Oh yeah. Because we're gonna need it to help cover some of these greens on the bottom, and then maybe I'll get some cardboard or something else. Maintenance. In the future, you're gonna want to water it. You don't want it to get dried out. You don't want it baking in the hot sun. You got to keep that center, that core, that mother I put in there, who will get bigger over time, hot. That's the goal with compost. Right now, I might put some leaves or some mulch on top to kind of keep it moist. I could even put like a tarp. Always come back with a hose maybe every couple of days. If you got a tarp, you don't have to that often. So we'll see. I also put these up this past week. These were in the OG sanctuary garden. I think my second garden ever, but it was at my grandma's house, and I had these on her deck, and I haven't used them in a couple years, and they're a little crusted dusty, but like they're beautiful. I don't want to paint them again. I just wanted to put some stuff and enjoy it. Oh, look at it. Oh my gosh. Just like a moment of silence for these beauties. They saw me at the store, and so that's why I bought them. They picked me. I was chosen. They had them in like a whole slat, and just all of them were just staring at me. Kind of like they're looking at this right now, and I was like, yep, those are pretty. I'm taking them. And here I just planted some herbs. This is right outside of my back door. Cilantro, which may not last for long. That's why I kind of put it in the shadiest spot. Basil, 2 different kinds. Parsley and oregano. I think I'm going to do rosemary, maybe another basil. We don't have any time. I'm gonna do at least 3 or 4 or something here. I'm thinking rosemary would be really pretty as a backdrop to these from the other side, but yes, and I love rosemary. I think we use that the most. So over here, this is catnip. Yes, the mother plant died off. This is its 3rd year actually. This was the mother plant when the catnip went to seed. I pulled off the flowers and I sprinkled them into the bottom of the thing under the whole bush plant. They could have been moist flowers, they could have been dried flowers, it didn't really matter. And then in the fall, I especially took those dried flowers that were like crusty, sprinkled them in. This is probably 1,000 baby catnip plants that I could put anywhere else. I could put them across the yard, which might be kind of fun. Instead of weed, just put this rampant. Also, like, wow, I could share with everybody. So the cats are gonna love that. Can you please not? Outdoor kitty. She loves it out here. That's where I'm keeping the weeds. Fly. Oh, this butterfly is ready. We got another one here. This one's the closest one to blooming, but not quite. And I mean, look where nature planted her. Right on the side of the bed like that. You're perfect. Why would I pull you out? You flower, you do your thing. Look where nature put her. Right in the sunlight. Right in the sunlight, yeah. She's my oldest cat. She was my very first pet of my own ever. So she's the mama and the queen, Khaleesi. She was given the right name, huh? Huh? Yeah. She's like 10 or 11 now. I can't believe it. She might even be older. But she's going to live to like 21, so she's still in her prime, I'm saying. Here comes the girl. I think that's going to be a wrap for today. Thank you guys so much for spending time in the garden with me. And I look forward to planting these plants sometime within this week or next week with you. See you soon.